Welcome, traveler! Today we are continuing our Dark Souls characters into MTG Legends series. On this episode, we'll be focusing on the Demon Spider Sisters, along with a devoted Knight of Thorns. This is Eve. If you're interested, come take a peek into the cauldron. The fair lady was once equal to her powerful sister, capable of wielding pyromancies and trample over smaller creatures with her enormous spider body. But she sacrificed all of that to save people from a terrible blight. In so doing, she got sick herself, became blind, and is slowly but surely dying. Her sister Quelaag is determined to protect her, not letting anyone through her lair, and feeds her the humanity of those who challenge her authority. Meanwhile, a brave knight admired her so much for her sacrifice that he decided to devote his life to her covenant and actively hunts for souls to sustain her. Let's see who makes the better pairing.
I am so sorry, dear sister.
If I had to give the fair lady a slice of the color pie, she would be in Boros colors. Instead, I decided to reflect her devoid state by making her colorless. In her current state, she can't even survive without the help of others. Krik and Quelaag get the same result through different routes. Both don't question their need to endlessly kill just to sustain a blind and dying demon. The desire to protect a loved one knows no color. It's as much white as it is any other, a strong emotion that both of them feel. Quelaag has embraced her demonic state and wields chaos magic with prowess. Krik hasn't thought of a clever way to gather humanities, nor he cares about the cult that surrounds the fair lady. He puts his own life on the line just for her. They both fall in reckless colors. The strategy of this deck will revolve around the fair lady, no matter what other partner you choose for her. So let's start with that first. The fair lady, for one generic, is a legendary creature demon spider. It's an O2 with cumulative upkeep 1 and partners with Quelaag or Krik. Note that it says or, so you'll have to pick just one of them. I decided to give her cumulative upkeep to represent the fact that she needs a constant stream of humanity to survive, and as her cult grows and her sickness worsens, she will always need more. Her first ability is to tap to create supplicants equal to the amount of age counters she has. So, what's a supplicant? A supplicant is a 1/1 token creature human horror, and when enters the battlefield, target creature or planeswalker is cumulative upkeep 1, unless it already has it. This is to represent the spreading sickness that plagues Lost Island. The supplicant itself has no cumulative upkeep because it was purified by the fair lady. I specified that it can't give the keyword to a permanent that already has it to not make it impossible for your opponents to pay its cost. The third and last ability of the fair lady allows you to pay the cumulative upkeep that your opponents refuse or can't pay. If you do, the permanent that should have died is cured and joins the fair lady's cult, and in so doing, your side of the board as well. But don't get tricked by her low mana cost. You can cast this commander on turn 1 expecting things to go right. You will either be stuck unable to cast spells, or you'll be forced to sacrifice her. By herself, she's very weak, even later on. And that's where her partners come in. Of the two, Chaos Witch Quelaag is the biggest. For 2 generic, a black and double red, She is a 5/5 legendary creature demon spider with trample and reach. Note that she does partner only with the Fur Lady. She has no ties with Kirk, and the same is true for him. Cheaper and faster, Kirk, for a generic and Rakdos, is a 2/2 legendary creature human knight with haste and death touch. Both share the first ability. Whenever another creature is put into a graveyard from anywhere, add colorless to your mana pool. You can only spend this mana during the upkeep phase, and you can't activate spells or abilities with it. The mana they harvest from victims and intruders is destined for the Fair Lady alone. With this restriction, you can use it to pay any colorless cost during upkeeps, yours and your opponent's. This includes cumulative upkeep and the Fair Lady triggered ability, and a few other niche cases when you can pay for effects. For example, if you draw a card during your upkeep, with like a Phyrexian Arena in play, you could pay the double colorless for a Smothering Tide trigger. I made their way of gathering mana similar, in a way that you could swap a few cards without changing the war deck to play any of the two in the command zone. The real difference comes in what they bring with their second ability. Quelaag will focus on burning out your opponents with pyromancies, dealing 3 damage to them for each infected permanent they control, punishing those who hold on to their doomed cards. Kirk is all about piling up bodies and relentless combat instead. Every time he deals combat damage, be it to creatures, planeswalkers, or players, you'll get to mill that many cards. While unpleasant to block due to death touch, without some support cards he won't be very impressive. But the fact that he can power up his first ability by himself, which Quelaag lacks, while filling your graveyard on top of it, has a very high ceiling. So this deck is all about interaction and decision making, finding the right time to cast the Fair Lady and carefully spending your mana to end the game with either burn or some of your opponent's haymakers. This way of getting to use other players' cards against them I find fun, since it leaves the decision to commit the mana on cards they really don't want you to have. And now, let's take a look at some cards that synergize well with cumulative upkeep. Blaze of Fire is a unique card that works perfectly with cumulative upkeep. Designed in a set that featured the mechanic, and while mana burn was still around, this card will allow you to pay for the Fair Lady by itself forever. While it seems powerful, I consider this more take or leave than it seems, an auto-include. This is cause your partner will usually be able to generate a lot of mana for your favorite Firekeeper to consume by themselves. Wheel and Dredge cards are great ways of stockpiling on mana to fill up your cumulative upkeep needs when your partner of choice is out. Believe it or not, other good cumulative upkeep cards exist. Corrosion and Magmatic Core are a couple of the more interesting ones, allowing repeatable creature and artifact removal. Admittedly, by itself our strategy is pretty slow. Yawgmoth's Transposition and Sword of Truth and Justice are some of the best proliferate cards for Rakdos that we can use to rapidly increase those age counters. Imp's Mischief and Boltband are much needed protection that will prevent our opponents from foiling our plans. While we try to fill our graveyards, we can use Decaying Soil and Oversouled Cemetery to gain a solid stream of card advantage. Note that we can use Kirk or Quelaag mana to pay for Decaying Soil if our creatures die during the upkeep phase, including, for example, being sacrificed by Yawgmoth. To close the game, we can use cards like Sir Conrad the Grim and Bloodchief Ascension. Since we are already milling the table, these two will very efficiently take care of our opponent's life totals. This concludes the episode on the Fair Lady and her circle. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, please consider liking and subscribing. Leave a comment to let me know which character would you want to see next, or some other cool synergy piece I left out for the deck. This was it. Thanks for watching.